that we graph these now, we've converted these signs, but how do we actually write equations? So you guys saw on the, let's see, what was it? Yeah, on here, it's actually written in a specific way where it has these braces and stuff in there. So we have to write these in a more mathematical way just so we all do it the same way. So that's the next part, is going from what we just did and actually writing these in a mathematical way. So here's how I translate, let's say like this first line right here. We'd write it as 25, and it's automatically assumed it's y equals. So it's y equals 25, and it's between 0 and 2 hours. So here's how you write the between part. It says x is between 0 and 2. It's actually physically between the two. And we put these less than signs. And the closed dots, we use less than equal to. Open dot, we use just the less than. And with this format, that when you put in decimals will let you graph a line, have it start and stop at that particular place. It start at the left number and end at the right number. The smaller number is always on the left. Okay, so this is the format in which that you guys are going to be using. So like this would be 35, and it starts at 2 hours, ends at 4 hours. So from 2 to 4, start and stop, close circle, open circle. And you can have as many of those as you need. Like this one had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we could actually have 6 of these all stacked up in a bunch of small pieces. That's why they call it piecewise functions. So what I'm going to do next is give you a few of these to practice on, and just graphing where they start and stop, and then also the ones that are kind of like this on the end, where it starts someplace and it just keeps on going. So in this case, it would be 100, and it starts at x, and it just keeps on getting bigger forever. So we just say x is greater than, looks like 7. So we got 2 ways of doing this. If they start and stop, you're going to have 2 numbers where they start and stop. If it just starts at one place and gets bigger or smaller, you're only going to have 1 number. So 2 ways of doing it. Okay, so let's scroll down to the next one, next page here. I'm going to give you a few equations for you guys to practice on. I'll do one, then I'll have you guys do one. All right. So let's try this one. Let's do graph y equals -4. And we're going to graph it from, let's say, x -5 to +2. And then we're going to graph y equals 7 from +2 to 8. So write that down exactly. Careful, the inequalities, make sure you get the lines underneath these two. And remember that these are the y's. So you start on the y-axis, vertical. So we got y equals -4. So you go down the y-axis to -4. Here it is. So that line is going to be on here in some fashion. It's going to be a horizontal line. But it's going to start at x equals -5 and stop at x equals 2. So then you go to the x-axis, you find -5 and 2. All right, so here's 2. So this is one place where it's going to stop right here, and then it's going to start right here. So really, we just want to keep from here to here. That's the only part we want to keep, and all this other stuff we don't need. So it's very specific of where it starts and stops. Okay, so in the end, you want to have -4 starting at -5 and stopping at +2. Just that part of it, that piece of it. And remember, the line underneath means it's a closed circle, and the no line is open circle. So since the -5 has the closed circle, we'll go to -5, and that's closed. The 2 is the open, so over here, that part is open. First piece is done. Second piece, start at y = 7, which is up here, and it's going to go from x = 2 to x = 8. So here's 2, here's 7, 6, 7, 8. So this is 7, and this is going to go all the way to 8. And once again, closed circle at the 2, open circle at the 8. All right, not too bad. Have you guys try one on your own? Graph -5 from -8 to -2. And then we're going to graph 4 from -2, start at -2 and end at, let's say, 9. All right, so go ahead and use this as an example and graph these two, check with someone next to you, okay? So let's look at another one here. Guys, shh. There you go. Okay, moving on, that we got to be careful with the negatives, of course. So from -5 and -8 to 2, we got an open circle here, closed circle here. All right, and then we're going to jump up to 4, and then go all the way from -2 to 9. Open circle, closed circles. Oh no, sorry. Open circle, open circle. Now, it does not matter that both of these are open. It's really vertically, you have to be careful. You want one of each. So the fact that this one is less than or equal to -2, this one has to be only less than. I can't have them both equal to. So you have to look for the same number and make sure there's one of each. Okay. All right. So the next is like this. We can all hear you, please. Quiet. So let's do, how about 2? And we're going to graph that everything less than, let's say, 3. And then we're also going to graph, let's see here, how about 8? And that's going to be everything greater than or equal to 3. So again, you can see I have one that's open, one that's closed for 3. So that's okay. So recall that less than, this is less than, that goes to the left. So I'm going to go to y = 2 right here, and then look for x = 3, which should be 1, 2, 3 on the x-axis. So it's going to be everything right here, and then everything to the left. So starting here, everything to the left, and it keeps on going. So there's no start and stop. There's just one number. So that's just where it starts, and it keeps going that direction forever. Okay. Same idea with 8. Right. So we're going to y = 8, and we're going to start at 3. This one's going to be closed because of the line, and that's going to be greater than, which is to the right. So we have two types. We have the kind that are in between, like we did above, that start and stop, and then we have the ones that start and either go to the left or the right. Okay. I'll have you guys try this one. There's the first one. There's the second one. All right, go ahead and try to graph, or go ahead and graph those. Check with someone next to you once you're done. Actually, let me change this to a 4. Sorry. Oh, no, wait a minute. Sorry. Positive 2. Yeah, that's fine. Positive 2 is fine. There we go. So we have the first one, -3. Here's y equals -3, starting at -2, open circle, and then going to the left, right? And then we have y equals +2, starting at +2, going to the right. What you can also do is combine what we did above with these in-betweens to fill out this middle that there is nothing. So I can fill out this by saying I want to start at -2 and at +2. So I can say -2 to +2, and I want it to be, I don't know, let's say 1. So I can go up to here and see starting here and then going to here. Notice how I made them one open, one closed vertically. So since this green was open, above it was closed. Since this was closed, below it was open. So I made very sure that I did that. So you can have a series of 3 of these with one that has connected, and then 2 that one goes to the left and then one goes to the right. Okay, and this is a typical question you'll be asked about on like your quizzes and stuff. Okay? So hold on to this. We'll fill out the last 4 tomorrow first thing, and then let you guys practice some more.